The cliffs rise sharp from the sea. Wind hits stone, wind hits grass. Waves crash far below. From the sky, the coast looks like a line of teeth. It is a rugged, unforgiving edge to an island nation. For centuries, this coastline has been a sanctuary. For centuries, this coastline has been a vulnerability. It is a place of stark beauty. It is a place of silent, waiting danger. Along this line, men once built forts. They stood here to watch the water. They stood here to stop an enemy. They are reminders of a time when the threat of invasion was a palpable daily fear. We see them from above, their shapes etched into the green headlands. Round towers stand like stone sentinels. The geometric outlines of batteries face the endless grey of the channel. These were not castles of old, built for kings and lords. They were military machines designed with cold purpose. Their only function was to hold a line against an aggressor. They were built in a time of great peril, when one man's ambition threatened to engulf all of Europe. They were a nation's shield, forged in stone, forged in earth, forged in desperation. Today, the silence here is deep. It is broken only by the cry of gulls. It is broken only by the rush of the tide. But if you listen closely, you can almost hear the echoes of the past. The tramp of hobnailed boots on stone, the sharp command of an officer, the low rumble of a cannon being moved into position. These forts were once alive with the sounds of preparation and vigilance. Hundreds of men lived within these walls. We are here to uncover that story. We will walk these weathered ramparts. We will explore the secrets buried beneath the soil. We will look at the grand designs of military engineers. We will look at the small personal objects left behind by the common soldier. We will ask a simple yet profound question. In the early 1800s, Europe was at war. Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of the French, dominated the continent. His Grande Armée had conquered nations and redrawn maps. Only the narrow stretch of the English Channel kept his ambitions at bay. Britain feared invasion. Napoleon gathered a massive force along the French coast, an army poised to cross the water. The British government knew it had to act decisively. Their response: strengthen the coast, turn the shoreline into an impassable barrier. All along the vulnerable southern coasts, all along the vulnerable eastern coasts. From Kent to Cornwall, a new line of defence rose from the ground. They built squat, formidable Martello towers. They constructed sprawling redoubts. They added heavily armed batteries. The goal was simple: create interlocking fields of fire to decimate an invasion fleet before it could land its troops. Inside the forts, life was small, strict and monotonous. The grand threat of invasion was a distant concept compared to the daily grind of military routine. The soldiers were often not elite troops, but militiamen, local volunteers pulled from farms and villages. The rooms were cold and damp, the sea mist seeping into everything. Privacy was a luxury that did not exist. Their days were structured by the ringing of a bell. They woke before dawn for roll call and inspection. They spent hours on drill, learning to march in formation and handle their muskets with speed and precision. A significant portion of their time was devoted to the great guns, loading, aiming and firing the heavy cannons. It was physically demanding work, the air thick with sweat, black powder and the salty damp that clung to their wool uniforms. The food was basic and repetitive. They drank beer or grog, a mix of rum and water. Boredom pressed in. They wrote letters, played dice and smoked clay pipes. Archaeologists uncover the quiet details of this daily existence. Building these forts was a battle in itself, fought not against an army but against nature and logistics. Fierce storms halted progress for days. Engineers probed strata of chalk and clay that could not bear immense weight. Plans changed with every new discovery underfoot. Thousands of tons of stone were quarried and dragged up narrow cliff paths. Ramps and roadways were carved into the headlands. Lime and sand fed vast batches of mortar. Simple tools, now rusted and worn, testify to the effort. Human and animal muscle powered wooden cranes and pulleys. Curved brickwork was an engineering feat. Walls endured both incoming and outgoing concussion. Deep footings, added buttresses, and clever drainage reveal constant problem-solving. Unearthing the past begins in the air. Drones map the site in precise grids, capturing hundreds of images. Software stitches data into a detailed 3D model. The aerial perspective reveals subtle forms and guides strategy. On the ground, former walls, ditches, and buildings are marked. Small, careful excavations read the soil layer by layer. Strata are pages. Sieves catch fragments. Pottery, musket balls, lead shot, bottle glass. Foundations and floors, even a gunpowder magazine, map the fort's bones. Surveying pins every feature to an exact plan. A neat square and a steady hand can tell a very long story. Each object is a clue. Each line of stone, a sentence. Archaeology now builds in the digital realm. Drone imagery, survey points and drawings flow into software. The result, accurate three-dimensional reconstructions of early 19th century forts. These models are not guesswork, they stand on hard evidence. It is like watching a ghost take form. We can walk barracks, see guns on their carriages and climb the tower stairs. Animations reveal movement and drill under pressure. Geophysics X-rays the landscape, mapping buried walls, ditches and hearths. Digital models engage the public and illuminate ruins. As erosion bites, the model becomes a permanent record. Even if stone is lost to the sea, knowledge endures. The grand strategy. These forts were links in a larger system. On clear days, men in one fort could see the next. Signals by day and by night relayed sightings within minutes. Roads linked forts to barracks, supply depots and headquarters. Reinforcements could move to any threatened point. A layered defense, resilient and flexible. Storerooms, cannonballs and dry magazines show readiness to endure siege. Over time, bigger guns demanded stronger emplacements and thicker walls. Some fell into disuse, some became homes and farms. Many were quarried for stone. Yet a chain of sentinels remained along the coast. The enduring question, Sentinel or Scarecrow? Today, these forts are treasured heritage and powerful monuments. They teach military engineering and the realities of war, and daily life lived in uncertainty. But debate lingers. Were they truly necessary? Did they save Britain? One view, they were vital. A fearsome obstacle that would bleed ships and men, a deterrent Napoleon could not ignore. Part of a shield that, with the Royal Navy, kept the Grande Armée at bay. Another view, invasion was improbable. The forts, an expensive overreaction and powerful propaganda. Archaeology shows readiness, but also walls mostly unscarred by battle. The guns are gone. The old walls remain, salted by sea and time. Marks of men who built, who watched, who waited. Did these coastal forts truly protect Britain from Napoleon's invasion? Or were they built to defend against a threat that never came?